Hey, what's up, viewers? Patrick Bowers, and I'm back into the video, and this is episode 7 of Work Week Bowers, and today's verse comes out of Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." And John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world, he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life." And that's what the verse means, and let's get into it. We're going to look at believing, and without further, let's get into it. Believing is seeing, but seeing is not believing. There's a familiar saying, seeing is believing, but in spiritual matters, that is not necessarily true. Sometimes skeptics will say, "Show me a miracle and I'll believe." But even if they saw a genuine miracle, they'd still doubt it or look for a naturalistic explanation and find other reasons to continue in their unbelief. As we've seen repeatedly, John wrote his gospel, and especially the 7 miraculous signs that Jesus performed before his death, so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name. But not all who saw Jesus' miracles and people believe in him, just as not all today, who read the eyewitness accounts of Jesus' miracle in the gospel, believe in him. The barrier to faith is that we love our sin. As it says in Romans 1, verse 18 through 20, all people have adequate evidence of God's eternal power and divine nature through creation, but they suppress the truth in unrighteousness. If God exists and created all things, then sinners know that they're in big trouble. So they invent myths like evolution to dodge the reality of God so that they can continue in their sin. If any miracle should have resulted in every person present falling on his face and worshiping Jesus as God, it would have been the raising of Lazarus from the dead. He had been dead 4 days, so that his body was beginning to decompose. But when Jesus cried out, "Lazarus, come forth," life returned to his dead body. He was completely restored, and he walked out of the tomb, still bound with the grave wrappings as a result. Many did believe in Jesus, but an amazing display of the hardness of unbelieving hearts. Others went to report to the Jewish leaders what had happened, and rather than acknowledging their mistaken views of Jesus, they intensified their efforts to kill him, which that went on to become the crucifixion, the death, and the death and the resurrection of Jesus. And more of that, and I'll talk about more of that tomorrow. 1 Timothy 6:12 says, fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called, when you made your good confession in the presence of many witnesses." And that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Until next time we meet again, viewers, in every way, God's way is always the best way.